What's going on, Bakucrew? Welcome back to the channel and happy holidays. BakuBrad96 here with my mythic deck profile for the Bakugan TCG. Now I know this video is a little late, but as you can all tell, I do have a bit of a cold, so that is why I sound a little funny. I am going to go ahead and get straight into it though, because I definitely want to have some content out for you all over the holiday weekend, as well as getting into next week. So before I jump right into it, I do want to thank you all so much for your support. As of recording, I'm at 941 subscribers. Not very much away from my 1,000 dream goal now, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you all very much for that. And yeah, so I'm going to get straight into it. Hope you're all doing well, best wishes. And yeah, so starting off with the team. Of course, it is a full mythic deck, so I do have the Aquos Hydrus here. I won't spend a lot of time on the team itself because I have already sneak previewed it plenty of times. But Aquos Mythic Hydrus is a double green fist Bakugan, B power of 300 with 6 damage. It does have built-in reroll, and then if it lands on a green fist, you get to steal your opponent's Bakucore. So it is a very powerful Bakugan. The B power in this deck doesn't matter too much when you're considering everything, like all the effects that the Bakugan have. So next up, of course, is Mythic Nelius, double helix, B power of 600 with 6 damage, so definitely the bigger Bakugan on the team. Built-in reroll, and then on a helix, you get to add another Bakucore, so a very powerful Bakugan, and that is why I chose Nelius. Not really, I chose these because some of the Bakucrew members were nice enough to trade me and send me these. And yeah, so this is kind of a special deck. I am working on a fusion deck with the fusion Bakugan that Jay sent me, thank you. But that one's not done yet. And then finally, Mythic Pegatrix, double blue shield, B power of 500 with 5 damage. Built-in reroll, and then on a blue shield, you get to remove an opposing Bakugan's Bakucore. So again, very powerful effects. They all have built-in reroll, and they are all decently strong. The Bakucore I chose to run with them. The 2 regular fist plus 3 damage, and then Bakugear cost -1 less energy. So I'm running these just in case I add Bakugear to my deck over time. But as of right now, I'm not using any. So it's really just for the 3 damage there. After that, I am using the 2 plus 300 and plus 3 damage Helix Core. I didn't want to lose any B power or damage, so adding as much as possible was kind of the idea with this deck. And then obviously the 2 blue shield plus 650 B power, because does anyone really use the plus 500 and plus 600? I don't, because you get plus 650, so the more the merrier, if you will. The Nanogon that I am running, I'm only using 2 because I only have 2 that really work with the deck. So if anyone has any suggestions for what I should use for the 3rd Nanogon, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. But I am using Nano Chaos Siphon. So on a blue shield, you get to add a Bakucore. And then on a blue shield and a regular fist, you get to steal a Bakucore. And then I am using Aquos Sludgeum. So on a helix, you get to add a Bakucore. And then on a helix and a regular fist, you get to steal. So both of these Nanogons have really great effects that pair very nicely with the team. Now, getting straight into the main deck, I worked as hard and diligently as I could to make this, like a concrete design, very solid, as competitive as possible. I'm not really sure how good I did. I'll leave that all up to you in the comments down below again, but yeah, getting straight into it, I am using 2 copies of Aquos Bright Beams. So this is a 1 energy cost to have plus 2 damage, and you get to draw 1. So a thing about my deck is it does cycle and draw through a lot of the cards just to get some of your playmakers or the Geogon for the win. So next I am using my signature Body Crusher. I love this card. 1 energy for -4 damage, and you do get to scan. Because this deck does draw a lot of cards, the scanning ability, or mechanic if you will, is very strong. So keeping things going with 2 copies of Deep Dive, 1 energy to draw a card, and you may reroll your Bakugan. Excuse me. So very good. Reroll effects are very nice, especially if you're like me and you miss sometimes. So that's why I did include a few. I am trying out Echo Search. Not sure how this is going to do in the deck, but for 1 energy, you get to scan, draw a card, and then scan again. So plenty of scan effects going on. Holy Flame for the B power, I do have 2 of these. I considered running 3, but again, I'm not really sure on the ratios for this deck just yet. But 1 energy for plus 300 B power, and then if that Bakugan is holding a green or regular fist, plus 600 instead. So for 1 energy, you could potentially get a ton of B power, which makes that card super strong. 2 copies of Chomping Tornado just for the B power, so 2 energy for plus 500. 2 copies of Darkest Petrify, 2 energy for minus 5 damage. So this deck doesn't have a lot of flip cards, so I did have to run a few cards that kind of took out damage from the opponent to deal with the team attack or just opposing damage in general. And that's why I added the Body Crusher and Darkest Petrify. Next up, kind of to get around the you can only have 3 of a card ruling, I do have a 2 energy, draw? Sorry. It costs 2 energy for plus 500, so it's kind of like having 4 Chomping Tornado. But you can only have 3 of a card, so that's why I have 2 and 2. 2 copies of Chaos Blessing, so this is a very powerful card. 2 energy for plus 4 damage, and you may reroll your Bakugan. So yeah, like I said, reroll effects are very nice. So this deck has a total of 4 cards that could potentially give you the reroll. And then it's just, the standard package I seem to use in a lot of my decks. So 3 copies of Consort, 3 energy to attach a Bakucor from the field to an open Bakugan. This is great for getting off the effects of our Bakugan or our Nanogon. It even does set up the Geogon if you miss the drop with them, and that is really nice. After that, I have 3 copies of Fusion Flames, 3 energy for plus 800 B power, probably one of the best cards that I have in terms of cost to payout. Now, a card I was really iffy about and I'm still not sure of is Cloak Defense. So I am trying this card out at 2, 4 energy to scan and draw 3. Like I said, this deck is all about like filtering through and drawing through the cards that you need. I know that could potentially make you lose, but if you get to the winning cards before your opponent, it doesn't really matter. So I did want to try these at 2. Another card I wasn't really sure about is Drumwave. So 4 energy, and you can attach a Bakucor from the field to your open Bakugan. If you have Domination, you get plus 3 Frost Strike, but that's not a huge deal. I really threw it in the deck just to be able to give me the addition of adding a Bakucor along with Consort. But honestly, I might remove that for something else. I'm just not really sure what it would be. At least not yet. 3 copies of Glorious Charge. Now again, one of my staples whenever I'm using Chaos or Darkest. 5 energy, 4 plus 900 B power, and 9 damage. If that isn't a closeout card, I don't know what is. After that, I am getting into the Geogon, so these are really cool. I did decide to use both Platinum Stardox and Platinum Stingzer, not only because of the copies of the cards that I have for consistency, but because they're Platinum, which means you might actually be able to drop them without having them break, or at least that is my hope. So getting into those, 2 copies of Platinum Stardox. This thing is a beast, 5 energy for a B power of 900 and 3 damage. But then if you land on a regular fist, you get to add another Bakucor, and you get an extra plus 400. So that's 1300 right there, not including what you're getting from the green fist or the Bakucor that you pick up. So very powerful Geogon. I definitely like it. And the Geogon cards are what we're kind of searching through with this deck. You're scanning, you're drawing. You really want to hit either your Glorious Charges, your Fusion Flames, your Consorts, or your Platinum Stingzers, because I honestly believe those are the win conditions of the deck. But again, I'm open to any kind of criticism or ideas because I'm not really good at building Bakugan decks, and I definitely want to get better at it before tournaments come back because hashtag we want cards. I'm still hoping Spin Master re-releases and like reboots the TCG, if you will, because it deserves it. The Bakugan Pro game had a ton of potential, and it still does. But I don't want to get too off topic, so here is Platinum Stingzer. I am using 2 copies of it as well. 5 energy for a B power of 900 with 3 damage. And if it lands on a Helix, you not only get to remove an opposing Bakugan's Bakucore, but you do get an extra plus 300 B power there as well. So kind of lying on opposite effects of Stardox. Stardox adds the core, Stingzer removes it. And I truly do believe that is for utility reasons. Just gives me options on what I need to do according to what my opponent is playing. So yeah, I try to leave it as open-ended as possible and cover as much as possible. That being said, the deck does use 5 flip cards to finish it up, and the only flip cards I'm using are cards that kind of stop Bakucore, because I think maybe those are the best, but again, I'm not sure. I don't have awesome cards such as Pact of Darkest, so oh well. Going ahead and going through though, 1 copy of Darkest Snare, 0 energy to block a Bakugan holding a magic shield or a blue shield. 1 copy of Dazzle, 0 energy to block a Bakugan holding a Helix. 1 copy of Confuse, 1 energy to block a Bakugan holding a Flaming Fist or a blue shield. 1 copy of Deep Freeze, so this flip card costs 1 energy and it blocks the Bakugan holding a orange or Helix. And then finally, the last card for this deck profile is Sonic Shield. So 1 energy to block a Bakugan holding a regular fist or a flaming fist. And that does it for this deck profile. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time just talking afterwards. I really just wanted to show you all the deck and get everyone's thoughts and opinions before I move on to the rest of the content. You can all look forward to a few different things this weekend. I do plan, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm not 100% sure. I do plan to unbox this epic Neo Trox very soon. It is the Diamond. I couldn't find the Platinum, and honestly, I didn't even know a regular form released. So for those of you interested, Neo Trox actually released in Diamond Platinum and Diamond Regular, so much like the Colossus. But yeah, really awesome. That is an unboxing I want to get to eventually. But that does it for this video. I definitely don't want things to be too long. Like I said at the beginning of the video, thank you all so much for your support. I know my content uploading is a little sporadic. I might not be the best as far as what I do, but having this opportunity, having all of the support, having all of these subscribers, it's definitely a dream come true, and I couldn't really ask for any more, you know, like this year coming to a wrap, my first year being a content creator, and I have nothing bad to say. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so, not only for my monthly giveaways, but any and all Bakugan content that I do release. So I hope you are all doing well. I'm going to send you off with the best of wishes. And remember, Baku Crew, stay safe, drum up, and Bakugan Brawl.